Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you joining us for today's live stream. We're going to be talking about ElevenLabs today and the connectors that we have built around that. I'm going to show you some of the detailed use cases that we've built out there. So let me start out by telling you a little bit about ElevenLabs. They're a voice AI platform. I think this is a pretty unexplored area so far. I think we're going to see a lot of innovation in this space. They've got two aspects to their platform. One is the creative section that deals with things like text to speech. You can do localization of content, voice clone, dubbing, that sort of thing. But the one that we're going to be focusing on today is around agents, where at its simplest, you can get a chat agent embedded into your website, but actually the agent support extends far beyond that. Today, we're going to show you how you would use it in a website, but it can actually show up in many different modes as well, not just limited to that. So to backtrack a little bit, if you've been following our recent series, we talked about MCP server about a month back. And what that is about is the way for AI to call into data sources within your business. And we think that this is one of the biggest blockers to adoption of AI in enterprise. You need access to real data from your systems to be able to make AI work for you. And the standard that we spoke about last time, MCP or Model Context Protocol, is what sets out to try and deal with that in a kind of a one-size-fits-all model. So it's really a way that tools, capabilities, contextual information, and actions actually can be surfaced to an AI so that it's able to interact with your business systems, either querying data or sending data back into them. So on the back of that, what we want to look at today is how this fits into the context for ElevenLabs. We're going to take you through just the basics on the product in case you're not familiar with it yet. So we'll show you how it operates as a chat agent. We actually have it embedded into our website already. So we're going to show you what the front end of that looks like. Then we'll go into the back end and show you how that gets configured, how it gets provided all the context information that it needs. And then we have two different demos that we're going to go into. So under the first demo, we'll look at syncing chat data. This is kind of a typical integration workflow where we periodically pull chat information, transcription information, and kind of sentiment and other like key parameters out of those chats on kind of a batch basis and synchronize it through to a target. And then we're going to go into some live tool call demos. One scenario to show how a sales lead who's interacting with your website could request a callback and provide all of their information interactively. And then the other, a customer who needs to check up on an order and make some changes to that order. So as we go along, if you do have questions, I'll be keeping note from my side. Please feel free to use the Q&A tab, and we'll get to those at the back of the call. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Cassandra, who's going to be walking us through the product.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Daniel. What better way to show what ElevenLabs is all about than a quick live interaction with Jean, our very own ElevenLabs voice assistant on our website. Let me switch over to my tab here. Perfect. Let's chat with her.
Hi, I'm Jean. I'm Flowgear's AI agent. I'm here to answer any questions you have about our platform or how we can help you integrate and automate your systems. Pro tip, I'm all ears, literally. If you're happy to talk instead of type, just speak. I'll listen and chat back. No typing Olympics required. Where would you like to start?
Hi, Jean. I'd really love to hear a bit about your Flowgear's top connectors.
Flowgear has over 200 connectors, but some of our most popular ones include those for SAP, NetSuite, Salesforce, Sage, and Microsoft Dynamics 365. These connectors allow you to seamlessly integrate these systems with other applications and data sources. To give you the best recommendation, could you tell me what type of systems you're looking to connect?
Thanks, Jean. I've also heard a little bit about your technical certification course. Can you please tell me about that?
The Flowgear Technical Certification course is designed to give you an in-depth understanding of our platform, connectors, and features. It includes practical exercises where you'll build workflows and have them automatically graded. Would you like me to open the technical certification?
All right, perfect. So I hope that gives a little bit of a better feel about what ElevenLabs is all about. I'd really encourage you to try interact with Jean anytime. She's really great for answering Flowgear questions and can even direct you to book a meeting with our team. So now I'm going to show you a little bit about how Jean works behind the scenes. So as you can see, these agents aren't just your everyday chatbots. Your team can fully tailor its purpose, personality, voice, and behavior, everything from its first message and its system prompt to the specific model that you'd like to use and various reasoning settings. Here you can see Jean's knowledge base. This is where we've attached our domain context as uploaded documents. A lot of this has been scraped from our help site. And this is what allows Jean to answer with that company-specific accuracy that we just showed. And then, quite importantly, we have our ElevenLabs tools. These are secure server-backed actions that your agent can call mid-conversation to fetch data or do things in your systems. Tools can be completely customizable to your use case. Simply define a few clear fields and the agent will autofill them by extracting information from the transcript of the conversation. We'll see this in action shortly. Now, if I just go to Jean's analysis tab, this is really important because after each conversation, ElevenLabs provides two key analysis pillars. Number one, we have your evaluation criteria, which are your kind of custom success checks, such as, did we qualify the lead? Did we resolve the user's issue? You get a success and a fail or an unknown for each one, and then a short rationale from your agent about why they graded it that way. The second pillar is data collection. These are kind of your structured entities captured from the transcript, such as user question, email, primary intent. This speeds up processes without having to have manual copy and paste from your perhaps numerous conversations. All right, so now that you've seen a little bit about how Jean is set up, I'd just like to do a quick note on the security tab of Jean. So if your agent is private, you can generate short-lived signed URLs so that no API keys are ever exposed in, for example, the website where your agent widget is embedded. If your agent is public, domain allow lists allow you to control where it can be used and by whom. So this is just to emphasize that ElevenLabs offers many security options to keep your agent secure. All right, so where does Flowgear come in? So where Flowgear shines is by acting as a kind of central brain, aggregating your ElevenLabs conversation insights at scale and orchestrating the exact downstream tasks that you may need, as well as being a governed entry point that your agent can safely call tools from. As Daniel mentioned, today we'll be showing two ways of using Flowgear with ElevenLabs. Firstly, post-conversation analysis rooted to your own pipelines and systems. Then secondly, mid-conversation tools that allow your agents to produce real actionable outcomes that are both auditable and secure. All right, so let's start with our new ElevenLabs conversational AI connector. Let me open up a little demo here. So what this new connector does is that it wraps the ElevenLabs REST API for various agents, conversations, and knowledge-based operations. That means that you can list agents, fetch conversations, and pull full conversation analysis all directly via the node.
Let's just zoom in a little bit on that canvas so it's a bit easier to see.
Here we go. I can also...
Okay.
Perfect. So let me drop our connector on our canvas. Perfect. For those familiar with Flowgear, it's very similar to a lot of our REST API connectors. Let me show you how the connection works. Got a little demo connection set up. As you can see, it uses simple API key authentication. I've pasted it in from our demo workspace. And we also offer a quick text button that allows you to easily verify your connectivity with your workspace. Perfect. So now that that's all working, another thing that we offer is our node samples. making it very easy to jump in because each of these expose a common operation that you can do via this connector. And by clicking on a sample, it populates the node for you, allowing you to get started quickly. So let me just show you a couple actions that you can do just to highlight how easy it is to use the connector. So for this one, I've selected the list agents sample. And as we can see here, it's listed all of the agents available on our demo workspace. Let me copy Tess's agent ID, which we'll meet her a little bit later. And let's show off the get conversations node sample. List conversations, perfect. And for this sample, we have many custom properties, making it easy to do exactly what you want to do with this connector. For today, I'll just be filtering with the agent ID, paste in there. That's Tess's agent ID. Let's put in the demo connection. Perfect. So this is just to show that you can easily get a high-level view of all the conversations that Tess has had. And I'll show just now that there's another sample that allows you to drill into each one of these conversations, deep analysis payload. All right, perfect. Perfect. So I'll jump into the first demo workflow that we have for today. So while ElevenLabs provides an excellent analytics dashboard on their website, there is no automated bulk export or for per conversation analysis into your own systems. That's where our connector comes in. You can pull each conversation's evaluation criteria and data collection, and then orchestrate whatever downstream tasks that you may need, whether it be alerting systems, CRM flows, or perhaps into your very own dashboard powered by a Flowgear web app. For this demo, we've configured a product feedback agent called Tess, and she's tasked with chatting with customers that are reporting bugs, praising features, or making feature requests. So as you can see here, this workflow is set to automatically run daily, pulling all of that day's conversations with our Tess agent, and then we iterate through each conversation. We retrieve that conversation's full analysis, and then we classify it based on that user's intent, and then route to different tasks accordingly.
And just to jump in here, the classification that you've got is something that you built specifically for this agent.
Yes, it's very easy to configure those two analysis pillars. It's completely customizable. You can choose exactly what you want to analyze from your agent's conversations.
Yeah, so it's producing a transcript and then running Gen AI on top of that to kind of give you a summary, but then you can define any data point that you want and give it a prompt to help build that classification. So extremely flexible.
Exactly, yes. So here we've posted basically a lightweight alerting system into some configured Microsoft Teams channels, such as bugs and praise, and these use our Microsoft Teams connectors. All right, so let's see how our workflow did for the day. As you can see here, it looks like we've had some new conversations coming in. It's going through each conversation, extracting that analysis, and then choosing the appropriate path to take based on the classification. Perfect, that ran successfully. And if I go to show the Teams channel, here we can see we've got some alerts being added to our Teams channels, landing in the right place. Perfect. And that's all powered by the workflow that we just saw. So that's demo one, a repeatable orchestration of using our new ElevenLabs conversational AI connector. Once you've captured conversation analysis at scale, you can mine for insights and feed your pipelines automatically without having to use any manual exports, all while using our connector on a Flowgear workflow. So we've now covered what can be done with ElevenLabs and Flowgear after conversations take place. Now let's see how we can use the Flowgear platform to empower your ElevenLabs agents during conversations. Perfect. So let me go here So this is one of the key feature flags of ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs supports tools that an agent can call mid-conversation to fetch data or take actions in your systems. Today, those tools are surfaced to the voice assistant, and what they are at their core are Flowgear workflows, which are securely exposed to the desired agent. So here's the general pattern. It's very easy. You expose your Flowgear workflow as a secure tool, and then you define that tool in ElevenLabs, detailing whatever clear fields that it may need and what it returns. Additionally, you set permissions as to how the agent will need to authenticate in order to use the tool. And then you assign the tool to your desired agent, and now it will be able to call that tool mid-conversation to perform secure auditable actions that you defined in your Flowgear workflow. So I just want to highlight that idea of mapping an ElevenLabs tool to a Flowgear workflow. A quick security note before we jump in. Only authenticated sessions can trigger tools via the agent. In addition, you can configure your agents to require explicit user confirmation before performing any tool call. And because each tool hits a pre-configured workflow, only the connections that are used within these workflows will be the ones that the agent has access to when using the tool. So we prepared 2 scenarios that we will act out today. Let me get the first one set up. Perfect. So for our first conversation, we've configured an opportunity assistant called Ava. Think of her as a friendly first touch to your business. She can answer questions, share product information, much like our Jean does on our website. And then when a user expresses interest, she can record a potential opportunity as a contact. In this case, we've used our HubSpot CRM connector to capture these contacts. Let me show again, all configured just as before. It's very customizable and very easy to define whatever agent you may need. So here is the create contact tool that we set up for Ava. As you can see, we've defined the various fields that it needs, such as phone number, email, and first name. But importantly, this is the URL that then points to the Flowgear workflow that represents the tool. Let me switch to that workflow here. This is our create contact Flowgear workflow. As you can see, we've got various input and output variable bars that basically tailor the communication that Ava can have with this workflow. And then we're also using our pre-configured HubSpot CRM connection. Again, that is all that Ava can do. Send information into this workflow as a tool and then receive its response. All right, let's speak to her. And let's just, for the sake of this demo, let's just assume that we had a nice little sales pitch beforehand.
Hi, I'm Ava, Flowgear's Opportunity Assistant. What would you like to explore today? Any specific integrations or workflows? If you'd like us to follow up, I can take your contact details.
Hi, Ava. It was really great hearing about your technical certification course. Can you please have your team contact me?
I'm glad you enjoyed hearing about our technical certification course. I can certainly have our team contact you. Could you please tell me your first name, last name, and email address? A phone number is optional.
My name is Cassandra Wallace. My email is cassandra.wallace@flowgear.net. And my phone number is 086-161-3569.
Thanks, Cassandra. Before I create the contact, could you confirm that you're interested in the technical certification course?
Yes, that's what I'm interested in. Thank you.
Creating contact now. Your contact is created. Contact ID 5405374499714. We'll follow up by email and phone unless you'd like to set a follow-up.
Perfect.
You may have heard the keyboard typing there. That's a new feature, if you can believe it. What do they call that? Ambient sound?
Ambient tool sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when there's a tooling vote going, you could choose. That was the most reasonable one. Someone typing.
Yeah. Perfect. So now we can go and view that transcript of the conversation that we just had. Again, you can see the AI summary that Ava wrote for us, as well as those two key analysis pillars that has all been filled in and set up, automatically filled in by Ava herself. If we go and view the raw transcript, then you can see here where Ava successfully called our tool. You can also go and view the raw request and the raw response and just see how it all happened. Perfect. And then if we go to our HubSpot sandbox, perfect. Here we can see that my contact has just been created. It's got my phone number, my email, what the lead was, and also some convenience fields that we added to kind of be able to identify when the conversation took place and which conversation and agent was responsible for creating this contact. Perfect. So to summarize, Ava just showed us how you can use a governed, auditable Flowgear workflow to allow an ElevenLabs agent to handle a CRM flow securely and with a full audit trail by using a Flowgear workflow. Perfect. So for our second conversation, we've configured a delivery assistant called Milo. So picture him on a retailer's website where customers can chat with him to check their order status and maybe even update details. In this example, Shopify is used to handle the ordering system. Now in production, you would typically have an extra layer of authentication on your website so that Milo can access and verify the details of the currently signed in user. This would be very easy to do with ElevenLabs with their agent widget. For demo purposes, we'll be sharing an email plus an order verification code with Milo. Let me scroll down to the tools we've shared and set up for Milo. These have all been configured and made accessible to Milo just as before. He can query all customers, fetch a specific customer order, as well as update an order and send an email. Again, I want to emphasize that each of these map to a secure and auditable Flowgear workflow. As you can see here, this is some of those matching workflows. Here's the one to fetch a specific customer order. And then here is the one to update the order. And here is the one to send an email. Again, the pattern is just having that input and output set up so that Milo knows exactly how to communicate with this workflow as a tool. All right, we've set up a little test order for today. This again, we're using Shopify as our background. There's also this mock PDF that would have been sent to me via email that contains my order verification code. Let me pull that out and I can put it to the side here. Perfect. All right, so let's go chat with Milo. Let me do a refresh.
Hi, I'm Milo. I can help check your order status or update your delivery address. To begin, what's your email and order number?
Hi, Milo. I've just placed an order. My email address is cassandra.wallace@flowgear.net, and my order number is 1018.
Sure, checking for your order. Thanks, Cassandra. To confirm your identity and retrieve your order details, please provide the verification code sent to your email address.
CH456.
Checking your order now. Your order 1018 for an Acer laptop computer is currently pending payment. It was placed on November 6, 2025, and is set to be delivered to 123 Long Street, Somerset West, Cape Town.
Thanks, Milo. And what's the total for my order?
The total for your order is 1207.50 Rand.
Perfect. I've actually just realized that the shipping address is incorrect. Could you please help me update that?
Yes, I can help you with that. What is the new shipping address you would like to use? Please provide the full address, including street, city, province, and postal code.
456 Milo Road, Somerset West, Cape Town, 7130.
I will update your shipping address to 456 Milo Road, Somerset West, Cape Town, 7130. Does that sound correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Updating your order now. I've sent a confirmation email. Your shipping address for order 1018 has been successfully updated to 456 Milo Road, Somerset West, Cape Town 7130. I've also sent a confirmation email to cassandra.wallaceflowgear.net.
Perfect. Okay, that went well. So again, we can go and view. Let me just make this bigger. Again, we can go and view the transcript of the conversation that we just had. We have an AI summary as well as all of the analysis filled in by Milo. And if we go and look at the raw transcript, we can see Milo successfully calling those tools that we showed previously, where he queried all customers, checked for my specific order. Here is when the update occurred. Again, you can go and view each one and see exactly how it worked. And there is also here where the email was sent. So if we go back to our Shopify sandbox, let's give a little refresh. Perfect. As you can see here, Flowgear or Milo, as he basically invoked that Flowgear workflow, updated the shipping address. And as you can see, we've got the correct shipping address now updated. Let me quickly switch to my inbox and see that confirmation email. Here we are. This was sent by Milo, and it landed in the correct inbox, telling me about the update that occurred. All successful. Perfect. So just to summarize, from Milo's point of view, he has this set of tools that he can call when needed during a conversation. And then from Flowgear's perspective, each of these tools are secure, auditable workflows. We think this example really shows how this combination of leveraging your ElevenLabs agent's reasoning with a detailed and expansive tool set makes for a really powerful use case. All right, perfect. To close, I just want to highlight the value of what we've showed. Most of your teams today can likely spin up quite a convincing ElevenLabs agent with ease. The gap is operationalizing those conversations, turning insights into action and actions into outcomes. Flowgear is what can close that loop for you. For post-conversations, our first demo showed how you can mine evaluation and data collection at scale, gain insights, and drive downstream tasks for whatever you may need in your specific use case. For mid-conversation, Ava and Milo showed us how you can let your agents invoke governed, auditable Flowgear workflows as tools to create contacts, check your order, update your order, and much, much more. So we've left quite a lot of time for some questions, if there are any. But thank you so much for attending. We're happy to take questions.
Great. Thanks, Cassandra. I think something that's probably on people's minds is just like the security around it. So I'll just make some sort of general comments around that. There are several layers that you need to implement this at. The most important principle, I think, is that the agent shouldn't be given carte blanche access to data. So assume that it actually is a person. And the two tools that you build, it should not be able to invoke and acquire data that wouldn't belong to that person. So there are some important principles around that. One thing that you noticed in the order address update scenario from Cassandra, for example, was how after giving her email and order number, it still followed through asking for an order confirmation code. And it wasn't able to give her any detail around her order or make changes until that had been done. So what you don't want to rely on is a prompt on the agent that tells it, hey, get a confirmation code and call this tool to check the code before you do anything else. Because if there was a way to circumvent its behavior, it would be able to bypass that kind of safety check. So instead, what you do is build a tool that requires all of the validation data as input. So for example, to get detail on an order, the input on that tool needs an order number and an auth code. And in the prompt, when you configure the agent, you'll say, the user will need to give their order number, and then you'll ask for an auth code. And so you can put that in the prompt. But the point is that the tool that you've built actually won't return data unless a valid order number with the corresponding auth code are returned. So it's important to think of it like that. Almost think of it as an anonymous person, and you sort of won't go wrong if you treat it in that way. In our MCP webinar that we showed about a month back, in some ways you can be a little freer on that, because in those scenarios, we were envisioning that you're using MCP as a tool within your business. So these are employees. There's concern that you need to make sure that users only have access to information that's relevant to them. So there certainly are many things to consider there. But in this kind of like customer facing or external party facing scenario, you need to be a bit more careful around that. So great. Well, with that, I think we'll close out. We do have the sample workflows that you saw Cassandra present today are going to be published as templates into the platform. You probably noticed recently in our console, we got a new landing page. There's templates in there. So just search for ElevenLabs in there. And we'd love to hear from you. If you do have any questions as you get set up, we'd love to share how we've got this working internally for us. So with that, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.